Dale Brisby, and you're watching Season 2 of Tulsa Welding School Top Welder. Look out, old son, because Episode 1 is right around the corner. This year we've got 4 teams going head-to-head, instructors from each of their 4 locations. We've got Phoenix, Arizona, Jacksonville, Florida, Houston, Texas, and of course Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look out, old son, because these guys are as good at welders as I am a bull rider. Welcome everybody to Tulsa Welding School's Top Welder. Season 2, I'm your host, Dale Brisby. I've been welding since before the war. Which war? All of them. Today, we're gonna have a little competition, 4 rounds. We've got instructors from all of the Tulsa Welding School locations. So you're gonna be going head to head with each other. What do you come out of this with? A little bit of school pride, old son. So first off, we're gonna build a little stool, a bench, because it's tailgating season. We need somewhere to sit down where we can watch the game. All right, you're gonna have 90 minutes. Everybody ready? On me. Ready, set, weld, old son. Let's go, get your supplies. Try to drop them a little louder. Where are you guys from? What team is this right here? Arizona, Phoenix. That's a long drive. Welcome to Texas. Is this Jacksonville? Man, you guys got some notes drawn already? Stuff is clean. Get it started right, old son.
You want to go 20?
Is this Houston or Tulsa? Tulsa, the namesake. Woo, y'all got something to lose. Y'all got to win this. You know what Phoenix said? Them boys from Oklahoma run their beads all wrong. Last but not least, we got Houston. Is this Houston? The 281. Do you feel like you have the most miles out of all these instructors?
Yeah, that's true.
Have you guys not cut yet? Everybody else is cut already. Phoenix? It's because they're not out in the desert. See, the humidity here in Houston, it messes with the timing. Must be something.
Go ahead and put 250.
Everybody's moving like really fast already. Grease lightning up in Houston's location of Tulsa Welding School. Guys, is this only like y'all's first cut? Oh, you've got a few cuts. Now, since he made his first cut, real nice and neat, he's gonna use that first piece of metal to measure the second one. It's faster. Smart thinking. Keep it up, Tulsa. These guys, they're instructors. The level of craftsmanship should be elevated. Now I'm gonna go check out Jacksonville. Jacksonville, the first team to bring out the angle iron. It's a 90-degree piece of iron. The one I'm most familiar with because in bull riding, I go 90. I ride my bulls to the tune of 90 points, just like angle iron. Matter of fact, they used to call me angle iron back in my early rodeo days. Phoenix seems to be, they're working on their sheet metal now, taking a little bit different approach. We'll see how it works out for them. Are y'all not allowed to use a cutting torch? I'd use the cutting torch. I like what he's doing right there. He's getting that 90 ruler and he's putting his angle grinder up against it so he cuts a straight line. Each team is starting a different phase of the project at the same time, which is interesting to me because they've each got their own unique way of going about finishing the project. We've got Ed Peterson here. How do you feel about what you're seeing so far, Ed?
I like that they're beveling the angles, that they're going to have mitered corners. It also feels like they're a little bit behind a couple of the other teams that have already struck arc. Right now, it looks like it's a smaller design, so it'll be interesting to see it come together.
You know, and we're commenting on Tulsa location, who's the namesake of Tulsa Welding School. They got a lot to lose here, don't you think, Ed? All right, Houston. Wow, have you already tacked on? I'm pretty sure you're the first ones to start the welder. About impressive. All right, Ed, looks like Team Houston here is the first team to strike an arc.
I like their design, how they have a center of support down the middle. It'll keep the center from bowing.
Like if my mom were to sit on the bench, she needs that center support. This is a good bench for my mom. Good job, Houston. Ed, let's go over here. They seem to each have a little bit different supplies.
So my understanding is that they all have access to the same material, but their material is a lot for the 4 projects. So if they use a lot on one project, they won't have as much material for their later project today.
So they get to kind of decide exactly how to build it.
Because they have the opportunity to design it themselves, they can cater that design to their strengths.
I feel like right now, time-wise, we've got Tulsa, Phoenix, then Houston, then Jacksonville as far as completion of the product.
Just cap these ends off.
Yeah, you don't even have to.
It's hot in here. I'm sure they're hot. They got on those thick shirts and pantyhose on their head. Don't tell them I said that though, because they're all pretty tough. Rule number 7, safety first. They want to complete the project, but we want to have all of our fingers. How useful is a bench going to be if we don't have all of our fingers? Well, we can probably still use the bench, but how you going to pick your nose while you're sitting on a bench? Riddle me that. If all you have is nubs. Tulsa Welding School. The greatest school on earth, voted by all humans. It was in an article that I read. And this competition is actually to help decide which location within that school system is the best. There's a lot riding on it.
Our bench is going to be pretty basic, but I will tell you, it's going to be able to withstand a lot of compression.
Tom just checking out their work, sliding in here unannounced. One of our judges from the American Welding Society. Unbiased opinion. What do you think, Tom?
Looking at their seat, that looks like they're not quite completely square.
I heard out in Phoenix, they got a bad batch of levels once. It's just never been straight since. This isn't gonna be your run-of-the-mill bench. Okay? It's gonna be an interesting bench. When you walk by it, you may not even need to sit down, but you're like, I wanna sit on that bench. You know what? I'm gonna go take a sit at this tailgate. Look out, man, coming in hot. Whoa, that is a very interesting foundation for a bench. It looks like a tiny corral for little bitty cows. I'm going all the way to Tulsa. Take me to Tulsa. They've been at this spot for a while. This is a gutsy move to make. They've got to make the materials allotted to them last for 4 rounds. I feel like they've used the least amount of materials out of all the teams. This might play out for them in the long run, but do they need the early win? Again, I do not know what Team Jacksonville is even doing. Did you tell them that they were building something other than a bench? And then we've got Phoenix. I want to talk about Phoenix from a distance because they're big and scary and they might hurt me. But they must have a level that's off over there because that is not straight. And I can see it from across the room. And it looks way more like a chair than a bench. We're not building chairs, we're building benches. Phoenix, I got an addition for your bench that you have to incorporate. You have to somehow fit these 2 coins. One has the American flag, the other one has Tulsa Welding School on it, onto your project. Team Jacksonville, you've got to incorporate this into your project. It's a quick little challenge. Little coin. That's a curveball, isn't it? Team Houston, I like your bench. It's looking good. It needs a little something extra. You got to put these 2 coins in. Yeah, I know it, Doug. Sorry, Doug. Caity.
Hey.
Come with me, Caity. We're gonna go on a journey through the Tulsa Welding School's Top Welder.
All right.
Come weld with us. Tulsa just keeps adding on. They keep stacking on.
I think they're going to get style points. Well, we'll have to see how it comes out in the end, but I do know, see how the ends, they left the hollow end of the square tubing out rather than cutting it on a 45 and making it, that would make it a lot tighter.
Next up, we're gonna go to Jacksonville.
Okay.
This one's gonna blow your mind. I don't know what's going on.
I'm not either, but just looking at it, they got some crookedness here, and that's already welded out. So I'm not sure how they're gonna straighten that out in the end, but we'll see, I guess.
We'll see. Caity is tough on them today. Lastly, we're going to Phoenix.
All right.
All right, Caity, talk to us about Phoenix design.
Oh, they're going for like a flag kind of on the back.
Very patriotic.
I have been wondering what that was.
Yep.
What that was going to be when it grew up. I will say that it's definitely not square.
So, not sure. Look, the bench looks upside down. You wish they would have angled the corners. Theirs is crooked. And then. Why'd you weld it on there and then cut it? Why didn't you just measure it and then cut it?
I'm gonna go ahead and miter these two ends so they're gonna tie into the back of the pipe.
The bench is looking good. Yes, yes. How we feeling, Tulsa? Are y'all married?
Been married 11 years. Got 4 kids.
4 kids? Yeah. You're married too? You got any kids?
Yeah, I got
2
2 kids.
kids?
3.
3? You don't want to mess this bench up. Imagine if one of y'all's 7 kids was sitting on it. I know that all 7 ain't gonna fit on it. I heard if y'all won, they're gonna change the name to Houston Welding School. That's what I heard. And whoever the team captain is, they might even change it to that. It might be Doug Welding School. And poor Jacksonville, they're building the wrong thing. I don't know how they misheard. Like, nobody said build a luggage rack. They may have lost the whole deal. This is kind of like if I went to a rodeo and I got on the wrong bull. And then I rode the bull really good. And it's like, do we still give him a score? So I don't know what they're gonna do here. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you rode. It's the wrong bull. We'll see. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, stop welding, stop cutting, stop grinding. I decided to sit on this table since they actually didn't build a bench like they were supposed to. So I can't sit on their bench because it's a luggage rack. And so now I'm sitting on the table. Okay guys, we're here, the first team, Jacksonville. We're gonna inspect their project. I'm gonna let these judges from the American Welding Society take over from here. Guys, tell us what you think about their work.
Well, I think for starters, we were under the impression it's supposed to be a chair. So we were just kind of trying to wrap our minds around and be creative on seeing how it's a chair.
You know, in their defense, the word bench and luggage rack do sound very similar.
I think the part that bothers me is we've got some definite crookedness in here. I mean, did you guys, looks like you just sort of eyeballed them.
We only had 90 minutes to do it, so.
Yeah, there's definitely some technical concerns, and the time crunch played part of that. You know, we have variations in the weld size versus, you know, significantly larger here, probably due to poor fit up. We have different heights where the crossbar is tied in, and then we have places where we didn't weld all the way around the square tubing.
So, what about it do you guys like?
I like the way that you got the little coins tacked on with the little expanded metal pieces. That's pretty creative of you.
I mean, I like the layout as far as the design of it instead of just being square.
Great job, Team Jacksonville, and thanks for joining us. And we're gonna be on to the next one and roll in the next bench. Next up, we've got the bench made by the Tulsa location for Tulsa Welding School, the namesake.
I really like the design. I think it's cool. And you guys seem to know right off the bat what you wanted to do. Came out really well. I would kind of rather if you had 45 of these corners, you know, but It's really nice design and good job.
I agree. There's definitely a nice creative aspect to this with the bench/chair, you know, something you can sit on. I like how you mitered a lot of the joints. On almost all of your joints, you have very good fit up and clean looking welds. I notice on this cross brace for the back, it looks like you maybe cut it a little short. But all your other joints and the fit up appear to be very good.
I think it's time for the final test, everyone. Couldn't really sit on Jacksonville's luggage rack. Ooh. Well, it works. So out of a possible 30 total points, they're going to tally up what you guys are gonna be awarded on your bench, and then I'm gonna take it home. So, good job. We're gonna check out the next team. Team Houston coming in hot, Doug and Jeff.
Well, I would definitely say in the category of bench, you know, I like the layout of it as far as the design. I would probably say, you know, maybe, you know, one thing would have been the expanded metal maybe all the way up to the top.
I agree. It's a nice design. I like the backrest that you had. I liked how you fit the seat, the expanded metal around all the bases, and it's actually supported on the frame, not just tacked to it. I also like how you tied the receiver into more than just this back bar, so it's not going to bend when you're sitting on it. Probably due to the time, you know, there's a few places where you didn't completely weld all the way around, but at the same time you were able to smooth your welds where you tie into the armrest.
Knowing that we're gonna be extremely tight on time, rather, you focus on welds that's gonna involve the structural integrity. You have to kind of split that short amount of time into blending, you know what I mean?
Well, I have a question. I want you to tell the truth, okay? Was it your plan all the way from the beginning to make it the receiver hitch, or did you run out of time and be like, we can't put legs on it?
Actually, one thing about the older people is I don't like to get far from anything, especially my truck. Why not sit right behind it if you're gonna be there on the tailgate? That way you don't have to reach far to get your beer.
Overall, great job, Houston. And looks like we're on to the next one. Last but not least, we're gonna look at Phoenix. Houston, great job.
All right, thank you.
We've got the final team, brought their bench up. Phoenix, great concept. I like it. Let's see what the judges think. Tell us what you think. Ed, let's start with you.
I like the design, you know, definitely creative. I like the way you incorporated the flag into the back. One thing I noticed was if you had spaced your stripes up a little bit more and added one more, you would have been numerically correct. You know, there's definitely some variation. It's not all consistent. Some of the legs are rotated a little bit or they're offset. But on the same hand, I like how you rounded the edge. You made sure there weren't burrs on the seat.
As far as the category that you guys were doing, you definitely hit it as far as a big chair. But it definitely looks like you ran out of some time, you know, as far as welding some of your seams out to be complete. So that would be my only concern.
I was concerned for you because there was a lot of grinding going on there for a while, but it came out pretty decent. I wish you would have, you know, used the square a little bit more and gotten some of your stuff straightened up. But yeah, good job, guys.
We're gonna look at going into round number 2. Thank you for joining us this first round of Tulsa Welding School's Top Welder. Ready, set, weld, old son. You know what? This is Tulsa Welding School's Top Welder, Season 2. And if you don't watch all 4 episodes, you ain't no cowboy. Now get out of my face, I got some cutting to do. Yeah,